This is going out directly to all the Republicans. I need you, as an American, as both being patriotic Americans, want what's best for our country, to pull back from the political side of this conversation. Pull back any Republican, Democrat hatred, vitriol, whatever. Pull back from that and let's just talk black and white, fact and fiction, logic, not logic, because that's what we have to get back to get through what we're doing. We need to communicate more because someone who believes in their choice isn't an idiot because it disagrees with what someone else believes. That's what freedom of choice is, and that's what we all supposedly fight for. So let's just put it this way. There is somebody running for the most powerful office in the world. There are over 100 criminal allegations, 150 criminal allegations. He's been sued more times than any singular person or entity in this country in history. There is so much black and white just who this person is. Please stop going back to political and all the talking points. Stop. For this conversation, we're speaking as Americans that want what's best for our country. The bottom line is you're talking about a person with this much negative, criminal, very bad allegations against him. So let's just say every single one of them turns out to be a scam like everyone's pretending it is. Great. Let's just go with that. In order to figure out if it is a scam, you need to find out the facts. You need to find out what's this bullshit evidence they say they have, that they had 4 grand juries like all conspire to, say guilt beyond reasonable doubt. We need to at least see that because that's been proven. That stuff has been proven. It's supporting evidence and everything. It's been proven. It's fact. Whether you like it or not, it's a fact. So you're talking about a person that has done stuff on camera that he denies doing, a person that has been found to all 3 wives, not really the type of person that we'd be friends with in the real world. Not really the type of person we'd really trust in the real world. But for some reason, the political side of this has taken over the common sense side. We have a person with a lot of ugly stuff against him. Most of the people involved in these charges, in this evidence, in everything else are Republicans. Most of them are his closest confidants for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Alan Weisselberg, Michael Cohen, Roger Stone, Rudy Giuliani, the My Pillow guy, Mark Meadows. These people worked side by side with him while this was going on. They were actually part of it. Now, if there's an investigator, even the worst investigator in the world, if they had every cell phone, every text, every email, every burner cell phone that was used specifically for illegal purposes, the dozens and dozens of them are in the possession of Jack Smith. Jack Smith is not an idiot prosecutor. He's not a novice. He's not a political ploy. He is the best at what he does, being brought on to investigate the most important trial of the history in this country. So a 97% conviction rate is who you want finding out the truth. And this is a man, Jack Smith, who has dedicated his entire life to defending and protecting this country as a civil servant, right down the middle. Not politically driven at all. This is who is a bad guy all of a sudden. Everybody does things that we don't agree with. So there's a bunch of stuff you don't like about Jack Smith, especially he's going after your best buddy. But the bottom line is he's served this country his entire life. So did Robert Miller. So did James Comey. So did McGahn. So did their entire life. And one man. So you need to think logically. There is so much here that was in front of your face you can't deny if you're not looking through a political scope, through a political lens, through political allegiance or political bias. You cannot tell me this doesn't disturb you as a human being. Forget the vote. At least demand to see all this supposed evidence. Demand to see it. Because you love the country that much, right? So demand to see the evidence. You want the trial to go on. Because when you break it down, the witnesses in the RICO trial were Donald Trump's closest confidants. There is 4 people in his 44-person cabinet. 4 people that isn't speaking up against him or testifying against him or not supporting him as a presidential candidate. That's just a fact. That's a fact. It's not fake news. You know what else is not fake news? Having enough indisputable evidence to have 4 grand juries unanimously look at the evidence, see every nook and cranny, interview the witnesses, the whole 9 yards. They saw it all firsthand, so they know a little bit more about it than you. They know a lot more about it than the politicians lead on that they do. But these are people that saw everything you didn't. And every single one of them, Republican and Democrat, voted guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Do this country a favor and want to see the evidence that they saw, or at least some of it. Then cast your decision. Then choose who's going to take over the most powerful country in the world for 4, if not infinity years. At least put that much effort into making sure you're right. I'm not calling anybody stupid. I'm not calling anybody blind. I'm not calling anybody anything. I'm not trying to insult anybody. But if you care about this country, it's the least you can do. And if you really need to rationalize that way of thinking, that the least you can do is encourage the facts to come out. And after it comes out, if you don't agree with a couple of them, great. But let the rest of us hear them. Because I want to know. This dude's going to be applying for the most powerful job in the world. I want to know if he's involved in this stuff. I want to know what facts are real and what aren't. But in my eyes, someone running for president shouldn't be $500 million in debt. Especially if he's a billionaire. That wouldn't need anyone else's money when he ran, so he wouldn't be in anyone's back pocket because he's a billionaire. So his whole campaign was out of his pocket. So he donated his salary and didn't make any money off the government. Whatever your beliefs are doesn't matter when it comes to this case or those cases. We can fight about the rest of this stuff later. But this is pretty important information to find out the facts on with no media spin, right? Well, they want to allow cameras in these cases so you could see it for yourself. Then you pass your judgment, and then you vote. Just saying.